Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today's an episode 102. In today's episode, we are going to dive into Kundalini and Twin Flames. What is a Kundalini energy? How did that happen in between you and your twin? Do you remember when you first met your twin flame that you felt some sort of an energy that you have never felt before? You might have felt dizzy. You might have felt that your heart is racing so fast. You might have felt sexual energy. You might have felt magnetism or some kind of like energy is moving through your spine and you couldn't tell what it is. But it feels good, at the same time feels scary. And what it is. In today's episode, I'm going to dive into the benefits of Kundalini, also the fear from Kundalini and the things that can fall apart while Kundalini rising. And what is the energy of Kundalini overall? I personally do not like the word of Kundalini. As it's being used a lot in a marketing form and it just has got into a little bit in a different understanding, and I like calling it life force energy or love energy, but since it's widely more known as a Kundalini, I would use on this podcast a Kundalini word. And this energy, so-called Kundalini, is inside of you. And once it's awakened, it's going to shake your life apart and it's going to show you who you truly are. And that's also the reason you met your twin flame. Your twin flame awakened your Kundalini to help you to become your higher self, the true version of you. And Kundalini energy is very magnetic, so that's why it might happen that you feel also during the time you are together very magnetized towards another. But also keep in mind, your twin can awaken your Kundalini, but it can happen that it does not happen to your twin at this time. Also to keep in mind that Kundalini rising is very different for each one of us. For one, it can be a day. For another one, it can be 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months. This energy is very intelligent, and the more resistance we are applying to this energy, of course, the more painful it's going to be. And I remember when I was at a training of learning about Kundalini and learning about the energy and understanding this from the human mind, although it's very natural for us, all of us, I was asked about, have I ever done Kundalini activations, or how did I come across with the Kundalini? And I looked at them and I said, I was activated so-called by accident. So this so-called by accident was by my twin. And it was quite scary, I must say, because I couldn't understand what is happening with me. And many of and the trainers over there, they looked at me and I could see it from their eyes. They were looking at me and they said, well, that must have been actually very, very, very scary. And I said, yeah, it was. It was something that took my life apart. And I couldn't fight against this. I couldn't resist against it. The reason I talk about also Kundalini today is because it's one of the signs of twin flames. I have a bit of a theory of that twin flames are holding a higher frequency energy. And when their time is right to meet, they awaken. One can be awakened another, and that's why we often call the runner the unawakened one who is not awakened, and you happen to be awakened and you happen to jump into your spiritual journey and you're wondering, how is that possible? Like, why I am awakened, why I have like everything makes sense to me, but somehow nothing makes sense to them. And this is something really important to remember, that if your Kundalini is awakened, it does not mean that it's happening to them. As a Kundalini healer and facilitator today, I can see that often that it's not about what our mind wants. And that's a very, very important part of this journey. We don't control the energy with the mind, that I want you to be awakened. I want you to feel this. I want you to show me this. I want you to act like this. I want you to do this. No. This energy will know when the time is right, and it will do its own way. But it also, Kundalini can be very scary. Don't get me wrong here. Kundalini is extremely powerful and life-changing. That's why when you met your twin flame, it changed your life in both ways, good and bad, let's say. I've said to you many times on my earlier podcast about when I met my twin flame, and I would really like you to actually write your symptoms down in the comments for others, as this helps others tremendously to understand what is happening with them. And I remember when I met my twin flame, and it was just this very brief moment, and our energies matched. And he awakened that I was driving with a car, and I felt that something is wrong with me. Am I feeling sick? Why do I feel so many sensations in my body? Like all of a sudden, every sense of my body were so heightened. I felt a little bit like sick in that sense, and I thought, maybe I'm tired. Maybe this is my problem. My heart was beating faster. I was saying words that I normally don't, and it was all so confusing. Meanwhile, feeling how time and space no longer exist. Like in this 1 hour of car ride, it felt eternity. It felt like so much happened there. Meanwhile, I didn't even have a proper conversation. Mind you, I speak a different language than my twin does. Even though I would say my French is quite decent, I was very shy to speak my French. And at the same time, it all happened. Back then, I didn't know anything about Kundalini, twin flames, spiritual awakening, all of this. I had no idea. But also what this Kundalini made me to feel an enormous amount of love. And this is why I call this life force energy. Because it's awakened me to feel the love, to feel the life, to feel everything. In my situation with my twin, it happened pretty similar to him at the same time. After a while, we've been talking and seeing and putting the puzzle pieces together of our journey, I've noticed that it happened to him at the pretty much exact same time. But for him, it was more when he was distant from me. So for me, the activation happened instantaneously at this moment. For him was when I left back at home, and he just said I couldn't sleep the whole night. I didn't know what was happening to me. And I remember, I guess he even also said to me, I felt I need to go to doctor, and because something is wrong with me. And then I remember saying, oh, maybe you're overworked, you're working too many hours and all of this, so it's better to calm down. So just to say to you that it can be scary, but it's part of the process. And when Kundalini is awakened, and I'm just going to tell you, you can't fight against this energy. That's why we're all of the twin flame coaches and everybody constantly repeats you, surrender and let go, surrender and let go, surrender and let go, because you can't control this energy with a mind. Unfortunately, you cannot. But I also want to tell you, you have been gifted. You have been now gifted with this beautiful activation for your life. As it's going to break you apart. I wish I could tell you otherwise. Everything that is holding you back, everything that is a judgmental guilt. And just coming to the judgment and guilt, I'm going to have my next episode about judgment on twin flames and guilt about twin flames, as I think it's an important thing to notice and understand why we shouldn't hold judgment and guilt on this journey. But everything that we have within inside of us will start now resurfacing. And let's say you can lose your job, you can lose your home, you can lose your finances, you can lose a family member. It's such a turmoil time. I don't wish that somehow to anybody. And now you would ask me, for example, well, what is good about me losing my family member? No, there is nothing good about losing your family member. But there was their time, and you had to experience this of seeing it. I know it sounds absolutely devastating, and it's not fair, but their time was to come and be your guardian angel now on this 3D earth. They don't disappear, believe me. Today you can ask about it. Let's say mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, whoever you have recently lost. Tell me if you are here. Show me if you are here with a white feather or with a blue feather or with something you connected with. I remember one of the episodes I spoke about it, how we made codes, like the person made a code that my leg hurts, and then it's one of the episodes previously, I have no idea which one, of course, where some of you remembers can obviously add it in the comments, that for others who haven't listened to that episode. And I just want to say that it's unfair when we go, and that's what is the reminder for you today of listening to this episode. All you have is right now, right here. If today you are alive, then be alive. Don't live in the future and don't live in the past. Forgive everything from the past. But let's move on within a Kundalini energy and the power of this. So let's say now you've been activated, you have been going through so much and feeling love, but at the same time feeling pain, feeling happiness, at the same time feeling sadness. And all of a sudden, all of these weird things starts to happen to you. Like you starting to have a telepathic communication with your twin flames or even with others. But with twin flame is normally because of one of the reasons they activated you. So you are very core connected with them. And you can tell me that twin flames exist or don't exist and all of this. They do exist. In which form, now if I would put it, I don't care. I'm going to be very honest. This energy exists. Because I can recognize sometimes people who haven't spoken a wonder word, and I know that they're twin flames. I don't know how I know that, but I can feel the energy. And that's why with AI growing in these times and all of this, where we could make so much fake realities on the world, you can make me to say things I never said. You can do all of these kind of things with AI nowadays. What we need to learn from here is the energy. Because if your energy says something is off, I don't feel it's right, you are 100% correct. And that's why you're going to have a telepathic communications. And more you are practicing, because now as many of you are following me or on the Patreon members or so on, I just also want to say huge thank you for those who are supporting this channel, whichever way, whether it's a like, whether it's a comment, whether it's a share, whether it's a subscribe, or whether it's a finance way that you are on my Patreon, or I have one beautiful soul who has given so many times this super, I think you call them super on YouTube. I just want to also shout out to you because it's so, I'm very thankful because if you support this channel, I have a chance to give back more and more and more and more, because this channel idea is to help you to become the higher version, the magnet you're supposed to be, because your twin flame already awakened that inside of you. Now we need to repeat. Now we need to continue. Now we need to become one with this energy that you attract everything. And you might also be able to activate your twin flame. Many of you, and why I'm so, I would say many of you can think about it that what is with this Kundalini? Like, I don't get it. And how this energy will work. I have done all the work, but I don't see any difference. We have to kind of let go of and I'm not saying that you have to let go of the romantic idea of your twin flame. I'm not saying this. But I'm saying to let go of the obsession of the romantic idea with your twin flame. And why do I say this? It's because when you do everything because you're hoping that it will change and shift your twin flame, again, you are in a loop that it will never change. You know, is it interesting how energy works, that the moment we release, we're allowing it to happen. Like the moment you release that thought of, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, the moment you release and you no longer think about it, it happens. But when you are focused, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen, you kind of don't see anything around you. And twin flame journey, whether you like it or you don't like it, it is a spiritual journey. It is a spiritual awakening journey. Yes, there is a romantic aspect, and I have no doubt that if you're supposed to be with your twin, you are going to be with your twin, and you have that knowing. You have that knowing. I haven't ended up editing yet one of the meditations that's going up on a Patreon, where you might hear the answer when you're ready to hear how you're going to end up with your twin flame. But I also would like you to take your focus away from that. Because the moment you start, and this is like an old rule about the moment you're focusing on you, the moment you are connecting with you, everybody wants to be around you. And so now another thing is, and I want to talk about in between unions and reunions and seeing your twin in between of this process. So for example, what can happen is that your Kundalini started to rise. You started to feel heartbeats that you never felt in your life. You started to feel sexual energy, telepathic communication. You started to feel that they are around you. You had extremely vivid dreams of them. In a sense of, you name it. Again, put it down in the comments. What was your Kundalini like? How was the Kundalini raising? And I want to just say to you, sometimes it will take time by the time it awakens. So it is not so black and white, and it doesn't mean if your Kundalini hasn't started yet that you haven't met your twin. So now, as many of you know, I'm hosting the Kundalini activations, both private and group sessions and all of this. On Patreon, you have the schedule. I'm going to say join for the 27th of October Inner Dance. We have a light language worker who is coming to join us. So it will be double the energy. And if you haven't had a session with light language yet in your life, take this as your sign and join us. It's something that all of a sudden a language that you don't speak or you don't understand becomes part of you. And why I talk about why to continue. So what happens now can be that your Kundalini raised, the twin, nothing happened to them. When your Kundalini is rising, it goes through your body. It starts from the lower and goes up and up and up and up and up. It can take time. Mine was quite some time because I was resisting it. In the beginning, there was, of course, enormous bliss, and you feel the love of the Kundalini, and then it starts to destroy everything. And that's what also one of the reasons of separation. Kundalini is somehow part of the separation reason, because it's a process of you to strengthen all of your senses. And what it's going to do, as the Kundalini goes through it starts to clear all the negative patterns, everything. Whether it's, let's say, your marriage, you're in a negative marriage that you know for a very long time, but you keep on being over there. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's your job, whether it's your friendship, whether it's the place you live, all of these things will start to like crumble. It's going to clear away all the doubts and fears. And isn't that funny that doubt is one of the things when we are on this journey that we don't believe that we have met our twin flame. It feels like, I can't believe I'm on this twin flame journey. I don't understand what it is. Why am I feeling so towards someone? So much towards someone I don't even know. I barely know this person. And somehow maybe I have nothing in common, but at the same time it feels. I want to say that there is a contract or a reason why your twin happened to be on that time, in that place to awaken you. And maybe you awakened your twin as well at the same time. It can happen at the same time, but I would say often it doesn't. It's in quite a rare cases that it happens at the same time. Totally can be. But more like there is a time difference and can be year difference as well. Years can go by. Again, it depends a lot on how much you are holding back. And your fears. This now sounds very weird, but fears. And I know many of us can say, I don't feel any fear of reunion. I don't feel like of being in a union with my twin. Or maybe not you, but your twin might. And also, I'm just going to say that your conscious mind might have forgotten about the fear, but your body is not. Your energetic body has not forgotten about it. And it can be the block inside of there. You can totally tell me, I'm fearless, I can do anything, I could be with my twin right now. But your energetic body is holding it. And so when you start raising your frequency to Kundalini, in our training it was asked like how often I should do the Kundalini activation. And ideally I would say every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks if you can, or once a month if you can. As that's the moment where you elevate your energy, where you're connecting with the subconscious, and the magic can start to happen. Many of you have wrote to me how their twin has changed after the Kundalini activations. And I want to really repeat here that the reason I do all of these things, breathwork, Kundalini, sound healing, Reiki, all of these kind of things, what I recommend and I also offer, is nothing to do with me. I am just a tool or a source that can help you on this journey. Like I had people who happened to come to my journey and helped me. I'm forever thankful for them. Because sometimes if I look back on my physical and mental condition, I'm like, I don't even know how did I get here. And I mind you that it's not a gradual thing. Kundalini is not like, and I think many of you who have done the sessions with me, they can say that every time it's different for them. Every time. So there can be a moment where you feel a lot of bliss and a lot of happiness, but there can be a moment where you feel a lot of sadness and tears. But practicing a Kundalini activations helps you to come closer. And again, I don't say this because of now start doing this only and then it will happen. Because if you come with this mindset, again, you're holding it, you're not releasing it. And so this is very important because this energy is so intelligent. You can't lie to this energy. And don't lie to yourself on this journey. Really, don't. I want to say another thing why I'm very, very thankful for the community we have and the connections we have. And I always say, your honesty is beautiful. I'm not here to judge your honesty. I'm not here to say, you want your twin flame back? And you would go like, and I would say, no. If you would want your twin flame back, in a sense, it will not happen. There are moments where we need to feel it. but then we start to shift and change. And the reason, of course, why I recommend the Kundalini activations. So, what is Kundalini overall? Where it comes from and I've heard about Kundalini, but I don't really understand. So, the Kundalini is a creative and powerful energy, and it's normally in your sacral chakra. Hence, the reason of you feeling a lot of sexual energy while being in a separation with your twin flame. And again, why you're feeling it is to activate this energy. Allow yourself to feel it. And when this energy is now activated, you are going to flow freely and you're going to manifest your desires. And I know that there's a lot about this twin flames, like how to manifest my twin flame back and how to all of this is through energy. You need to shift and change your energy. And I'm going to tell you that there can be situations in your journey where you are going to meet your twin many times, and then again you go apart. You meet again and you go apart. Or you meet your twin and it's a completely disaster. It's nothing like you were expecting. It's because, again, an expectation. So you are in a mind that now it's going to happen, now it's going to be, but you're not there with energy. You're not connecting with an energy, you're connecting with a mind. And that's why I often say when you're going to meet your twin flame in 3D, don't have expectations. Zero expectations. How it's going to be, what is going to happen. Because they also feel nervousness around you. They really do. I had, when I was in a separation with my twin flame in so-called, let's say 3D, the universe didn't even let us to meet. It literally didn't let us to meet because there was so much fear. There was so much doubt. There was so much in between that the universe was like, this is not the energy to attract. This is the energy to heal. And so coming back to this Kundalini energy, and I think many of you have noticed, I've heard that from many, and why I do these trainings as well, or why do I do these workshops as well, it's not because, again, like I want to punish you, come do my thing. No, I really would say, for me, it is to be in service. If my energy can activate to you in order for you to become the magnet you're supposed to, I couldn't be happier. And when the Kundalini increases, your magnetism increases. You become a magnet. And that's what I've been talking from the very beginning. Everything is energy, but the repetition matters. If you meditate once a week or once a month and then you forget about it, you're not increasing your frequency as much. Or if you're doing it, let's say, energy activation once a month or once a week or all of this. I mean, I would recommend of it Kundalini in every 2 weeks, which is why the workshops are built up like this. And of course, if you can afford and you have the money, then to have your private session. I am doing once a week a private session, and then I do group sessions as well because I enjoy both of them. I'm not saying, but it's a repetition. It's a repetition for your subconscious mind. I actually will put here up my favorite tennis player. And I just want to say that I don't want to get into, how do I say, politics over here, or saying that, oh, I like this person or I like this person and this is not good. I just love his energy and I love his wisdom. So I just put it up here I put it on Instagram another day, but I put it up here because this man is today 36 years old. He has won all the Grand Slams on tennis, Novak Djokovic. And, you know, I've always loved Novak's energy. I just connected with the energy he has. Even, let's say, if he wouldn't be a world top player, he has the special energy. But I just want to really, really say here that do not, let's not get into politics. Let's get into the energy and the message that Djokovic has. So now,
believe in universal law of attraction and the force that guides us all. So I try to connect with that and guide that power and strength and energy from that force when I need it the most. And it works. You know, you might say, well, it's not real, but you know, it is real once it becomes your routine. Anything that becomes a routine, it really becomes part of you. Yeah. So repetition is very important to kind of tap into your subconscious and just kind of start reprogramming yourself, your life. And for me, I have repetitive life in a way, because every day I get on the tennis court and I kind of have to go through the same things. But that's life, you know, and what you make out of it is what you get out of it as well.
As you could hear, it is a repetition. It is to connecting with the energy of source. It is to become one with that. And that's where the results will happen. And like I already say, I said to the group session another day that skip the coffee. Don't buy yourself a coffee from takeaway. Put this money aside and you'll have a session once a month that will make you a magnet. And many of you can tell me, I've heard that many times, you start losing weight, like out of nowhere. People are starting to look at you deeply into your eyes and you're like, why they're staring at me? Random people will walk up to you and say how beautiful, how amazing, this and that you look, and you'll be like, what is this thing? I'm still the same. I'm still the same as I was. And then people will start seeing your aura. Your aura would change and becomes more stronger and radiant. And I'm going to tell you, most of the people see auras, but they just don't believe that they're seeing it. That's why I'm 100% sure. You've been in a restaurant or in a, let's say, concert or somewhere, and you see one person walks in and their energy just radiates from their body. And everybody's staring at this person. Everybody remembers this person. And this is, again, your frequency, who you are. So why do I recommend to continue is for both reasons. One, to become a magnet. The second, to get also more peace on this journey. Like I say, Kundalini can be sometimes quite intense. But when you are letting go of it, magic can happen. And of course, Kundalini is very strongly tied into the sacral chakra. We had a session on this Sunday, but the next session is coming. We have the inner dance session, but the recording will be there. I although just want to say that as we are doing a live energy activation, live Kundalini activation, I generate the energy through you and through your body. I recommend to come to the live sessions. If you cannot, there are sessions that are recorded and put it out on Patreon, and of course you can join them. I just don't know if they're exact same. I don't know. So every one of you who have tried, you can do if you have tried a live session and then you have done afterwards. Again, let us know. Leave the comment. And that's where the merging happens. Isn't that interesting? Sacral chakra is where the merging is happening. And I have been talking a lot about this. How you should let this feeling the sexual energy. How you should activate and connect with this sexual energy and allowing it to happen. Because that's where the merging is happening. We shouldn't feel ashamed of that. We shouldn't feel, how can I feel so much sexual energy from the person I barely know, and maybe they're married, maybe they're in a different relationship, but I'm feeling it. And here is something again I really, really want to say. When we are feeling something and something is happening in our body, not to suppress it. Your body is so intelligent, and so is the energy. Don't let the mind to take over of thinking, oh, my twin is like this, all of this obstacle. Because it doesn't take away what you're feeling at this moment. And I know, is it fair? Is it fair that your twin flame is married to somebody else? Is it fair that your twin has another relationship? Is it fair that your twin flame is not at the moment interested of you? No, none of this is fair. But you're feeling it. And allow yourself to feel it. And there is a big reason why you're going to be in a separation. Because the separation is the healing process. And it can happen. So now I'm just going to say that, but I'm going to say that you are creating your own reality, which I will talk a lot about as well. But it can happen that your twin will never awaken. It will happen that your twin will never awaken this lifetime and will never know in a sense of that connection. You can tell them, you can write to them, you can try everything, but they will never understand. Because it might also happen that previous lifetimes you just didn't awaken and you had to do it again and again and again. That's a bit of a sad truth in that sense, but it's the truth. But I'm going to say that you are creating your reality, which means if you know, and it's your knowing, not my knowing or someone else knowing, if you know deep inside of your heart, somewhere very, very deep, that your twin is going to return this lifetime, or your twin has given you hints about the soul connection, about something, then it's you who knows it. Don't look that answer from somewhere else. It's you. I am going to share about how do I know of mine and twins journey, because it's inside of me. But it depends a lot on the energy. And and another thing that the Kundalini energy is promoting, and that's what we talk so much about this journey, is love and union. When you are your Kundalini is fully awakened, you feel unconditional love towards yourself and your twin flame and others. You feel how the life around you is love. And the separation with your twin, this energy helps you to develop this self-love, because you need to become the love in order to attract this divine love, anything. And I really want to say, often, and I had these limiting beliefs as well. I would say, I would never text first, or I would never say these things first. I will not run after a person. I would not do this and that. And funny enough that when I changed and shifted that, so much changed. So much. My reality changed completely. And I also had to forgive for the past. That the past will not resurface. And that's the beauty of Kundalini. Kundalini resets the old self, which means the past is no longer haunting you. The past to hurt you. The past that didn't go as you planned. The past that was there. And somehow. And you over and over and over again, you're going to repeat that. So we need to forgive for the past, and that's what Kundalini will do. And so as you are developing the self-love, compassion, empathy through forgiveness and everything, which are very crucial for the twin flame union. If you are holding hate or anger towards someone, let go of that. Let go of that as soon as possible. But listen to me here. Don't lie to yourself. If you're feeling anger today, and if you're feeling that I don't want this, then that's what you're feeling today. And you are aware of it, and you're allowing yourself to feel it. But step by step, you let go of it. Don't get stuck there, but don't lie to yourself. And when you're focusing on your spiritual growth and you're raising your consciousness through all of this madness, so you start seeing the numbers, you feel the energies, you feel when the person is next to you, you feel and you know somehow so much about them, you're starting to shift out of the lower vibrational energies. And that's again will bring the union closer. I don't know how many times I've said to you that every single time I have done something I think I cannot do in this life, or even with Twin Flames when I started the podcast or when I did certain things, my twin out of nowhere would come up and say, I'm so freaking proud of you. He has no idea of my life. Even he doesn't know what I do normal job. What is my normal job? He has no idea of that. Well, maybe he does because it's quite easy in a sense of knowing it, but we never discuss of these things. So yeah, these are the things that when you're raising your Kundalini energy, and not only that it helps your twin flame journey and overall, and this is why I talk about becoming a higher self. This is why my retreats are also designed of shifting your frequency and connecting with your higher self. Because when you do that, you start creating your reality. And reality you deserve. And reality that's supposed to be there. In a higher frequency. I'm going to say, and this sounds very egoistic, sorry. But I don't mean that, but the words can sound like this. Having this opportunity to come and shift your focus, your energy, your frequency is actually a very, very big gift. And I just want to say for each one of you, especially those who are now coming to Cyprus, we next is Costa Rica, it's an enormous gift for you. And you will see the results of this. Everything I do is based on frequency. And you're starting to manifest your life. And that's what and now again, I have this problem with words apparently, manifest and twin flames and Kundalini. I don't like very egoistic, I don't like these things. With the manifest, the words what we often overuse, it kind of loses its value. But the manifestation is like a magnet of who you are. And if you're wondering why you don't manifest certain things in your life right now, and don't get me wrong here, life is going to happen. Life is going to happen. Can be that you're losing a job. Can be that you're going to lose someone. And it's not fun. None of these things are fun. But it's a life. It's the way we have gone. None of us have left this earth, let's say, without experiencing in certain ways something tragic. And death is somehow tragic. But it's part of the life. The universe has made that. We cannot stop that. And I don't want to go into that because Kundalini energy is very, very powerful. But what I'm saying is that people can tell me nothing good happens in my life. This is all disaster. This is all disaster. And my question here would come back to, well, what have you done with your energy? How much you're focusing on your energy and your habits. How much you have changed of who you are. It's a repetition of your energy. And Kundalini is in that sense. So in that sense, it's a bliss. And that's also a very scary part of it. So many of you who have experienced these deep energies that you don't know what you're feeling. And I'm also going to say that this deep energy makes your twin flame to run. Yeah. It makes them feel that something is wrong. Because we've been told that when we feel an anxiety or when we feel something strange in our body, that it's a bad thing. And so we're focusing on a bad thing. I'm not saying that if your inner voice is saying, this is not good, then go away. But when you're feeling something, with breathwork sessions, with Kundalini activations, you can sometimes feel rage, you can sometimes feel anger. And if you stop that, it stays inside of you. And we can see what happens when we suppress and suppress, it's suppressed. At one point, it's like a volcano. But yes, your twin can run away when they feel that their Kundalini starts to awaken, because it's so confusing. When I look back on my journey, I was definitely a runner as much as I was the chaser. And I believe most of us are. We just don't see it in a certain lens, because when we are at this beginning stage, we see a lot of, how can I be a runner? I want my twin to be with me every moment. But as the time goes on, you start realizing how much you were running as much as your twin was running. And often when this Kundalini is raising us, it can get scary. And then we want to stop. We want to stop the conversation. We want to stop the communication. We want to just stay in a distance, because if I'm near you, I cannot breathe and I cannot think and I don't know what is happening. I'm feeling like sick. And so they're running. They say, don't come close to me. I don't feel good. Or on the other hand, they can say that they feel really good, but they feel scared. And of course, it comes with all of the conditions we have in our life. I saw another day a beautiful quote, which I want to add for today's podcast episode. And it said, the ego is impatient. It knows its time is limited. The spirit is patient. It knows its time is eternal. Yeah, because the ego wants right now, right here, because we are running out of time, while the soul knows there is no time we are running out of. We are eternal beings. You live your life right now, right here, in this present moment. Again, I bring you back to the books that I recommended. They are also put it here. Is The Power of Now. If you are having difficulties to let go of the past, or you're jumping into the future, that what might not happen, read The Power of Now. You should see, I should post on Instagram of the picture of my Power of Now book. It's like the pages are falling apart from there already. I've read it so many times. It's just, like I say, repetition and reminder. And life is going to happen. This is something we need to accept. Life is going to happen, but now it depends on which frequency and vibration. Work. The frequency is the highest currency. Nothing is more expensive than the frequency, believe me. And when you are a magnet, I have no doubt that your twin will refuse you or don't want to be in your life, or you will not run into your life. I'm 100% sure. But if there is a fear, then let's take a deep breath and exhale slowly and allowing it to happen. So yeah, this was today's episode. I hope it brought you some understanding of the Kundalini, of the energy, and what it does to you. If you had any of these experiences or you have something to add, feel free to leave in the comment section. Like I said, on 27th of October, we will have another session called Inner Dance. I highly recommend you to join the Inner Dance session with the light language. Although the light language session will only happen on the second part of the session. We have 2 sessions, and it does, in that sense, I highly recommend you to join, even if you cannot join the evening session, which is at Paris 6 p.m., New York noon, California I believe it's 10 a.m. I'm just going to say Inner Dance is very, very good to do in the morning, but it does not matter. And light language, Naomi from Sweden will join us, and you will get to know her, you will get to feel her energy, and including mine. For Cyprus, I'm going to see you here very soon. Very excited to see you all. For Costa Rica, I just saw that the form has been filled 26 times. 26 people are on the list. I'm just going to say we have only 15 up to 18 places we can take. Please sign up as soon as you can. As soon as I know it, I'm the person who likes to do things in the last moment. I don't think a lot of ahead. I like spontaneous living. I'm just going to say, if it fills up too quickly, again, we're going to be in this problem where we can't have enough people or we can't take you. Of course, it's not the end of the world, but I'm just going to say that if you feel that this is something you would like to experience in person, connect with others, discover your potential, discover your higher self, feel the union, feel what is the 5D union, all of these things, then sign up as soon as you can and have your spot secured. Because you have the payment plans and you have everything. And of course, those who would like to do the online session, just I forgot to mention that Kundalini travels through time and space. You don't need to meet your twin flame in 3D. As we right now do the Kundalini activations through online, you can see over and over and over again how the energy travels through you while me being in a completely different location than you are. Look it up on Instagram, you can see certain sessions that have happened. It doesn't matter. So just to say that. Yeah, so those who would like to, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, all of the links are in bio. Follow us, stay with us. If there is something you wish to share, I'm always so grateful to hear. Lots of love and light.